I helped my brother ditch his bride because she invited our mom. I'm 32 years old, got two brothers, Joe who's 34 and Sam who's 28, and this whole mess I'm about to lay out is centered on Sam, the oldest, who I helped ditch his bride right at the altar cause she pulled the dumbest move imaginable by inviting our unhinged mother to the wedding. Let me take you back to the start. Our folks split up when I was just a snot-nosed kid running around in diapers, and it all went down cause mom turned into this jealous lunatic who couldn't keep her head on straight. Dad, bless his patient soul, dealt with her nonsense for as long as he could stomach it, but the day she started flapping her lips about me wanting to be his little housewife or some twisted crap like that, he threw his hands up and said, "I'm out." She didn't sit around crying into her coffee, though, nah, she snagged herself a new guy faster than you can say rebound, some dude who came with two boys of his own, and for a while there, we were bouncing back and forth between their house and dad's like we were stuck in some messed up custody piñata game. Things were shaky but manageable till dad went and got himself remarried, and that's when mom lost every last marble she had left. She'd scream at his new wife over the phone, hurling every nasty name you could dream up, swearing on her life that dad had been sneaking around on her back when they were still together, which was a load of bull if I ever heard one. Me, I stuck tight to dad and my brothers like glue. Mom was always a downright mean son of a gun to me, picking at me for no reason, so I didn't waste much energy trying to cozy up to her. Fast forward a bunch of years, and tragedy hits hard. My stepmom, who was a saint in my book, got mangled in a god-awful car wreck and didn't pull through. Dad, all torn up, calls mom in the middle of the night, voice cracking, telling her he's coming to get us early so we can make it to the funeral and say our goodbyes proper. But mom? She's got other plans. She piles us into the car for some harebrained fun trip, grinning like a Cheshire cat who just found a stash of cream, acting like nothing's wrong. We're kids, confused as heck, and when it finally clicks what's happened and we start bawling our eyes out, she spins around in the driver's seat and snaps at us. Only worthless losers cry over garbage like that, cold as a winter wind off the plains. That was the match to the powder keg. Dad went full-on warrior mode, hauled her to court, and fought tooth and nail for full custody, though he left the door cracked for visits if we wanted him, even shelled out his own cash to send us her way after she up and moved off to God knows where. But let me tell you, every trip to see her was like walking into a lion's den with a stake tied around your neck, pure misery, and the second we each hit 18, we started dodging her like she was a bill collector on a mission. Last time I clapped eyes on her was my high school graduation day. She stood there in the parking lot, hollering to anyone who'd stop and listen that we were a bunch of ungrateful little snots, her husband right beside her piling on with his own filthy cussing till we decided we were done for good and cut her off cold turkey, no contact, see ya never. Now, let's jump to Sam. He meets this gal about 3 years ago, and she gets the whole ugly rundown on our mom's situation, every gory detail of the craziness we grew up with. She nods along, but deep down, she's thinking we're just blowing it all out of proportion, like we're a bunch of drama queens making up tall tales. They go at it over this plenty, her nagging him to patch things up with mom, him telling her it ain't happening, but after a while, she seems to let it go, drops the whole reconcile with your mama campaign, and we figure she's finally seen the light. Wedding plans start rolling along, and it's all smooth sailing, no warning signs, no funny vibes, just a regular old build-up to a big day. Then we pull up to the church, tires crunching on the gravel, and I swear my heart about stopped. There's mom, her husband, and his two grown kids, all decked out and parked smack dab in the front row like they're the guests of honor at a dang parade. I'm freaking out, palms sweaty, and I whip out my phone to call my brothers faster than a jackrabbit on a hot date. Sam's thinking maybe she somehow sniffed out the wedding date and showed up to crash it just for kicks, so he dials up his fiancée to give her the heads up that there's a storm brewing. She picks up, cool as a cucumber, and drops the bomb. She invited them herself, says it's no big deal. Sam's face goes white, he hangs up, looks at me with those big ol' eyes, and says, "Brother, get me the hell out of here." I don't even think twice. I grab his arm. We hightail it out of there like we're running from the law, leaving Joe to deal with the circus back at the church while we peel off in my truck and head straight for home. We get there, lock the doors tight, pull the blinds, and hunker down like we're in a bunker waiting out a tornado. Her family, her friends, even mom's husband, they start showing up, banging on the door, blowing up our phones, that loudmouth jerk yelling through the line that he always knew we were a bunch of good-for-nothing punks who'd amount to squat. It's a madhouse for a while, but eventually, the dust starts to settle. Sam's buddies, most of our kin, they all line up behind him, saying he did the right thing. Her folks start squawking about suing us for the money they chipped in for the wedding, dollars they threw at the dress, the cake, all that jazz, but Sam's standing firm, says he'd rather scrape together every penny and pay him back dime by dime than shackle himself to a gal who'd stab him in the back like that. Me, Joe, Dad, we're all riding for Sam, 100% in his corner, even though the blowback's hitting us like a sledgehammer to the gut. Later on, I post about it online, and folks start chiming in with support, makes us feel a little less like we're losing our minds, and no, she never even whispered a sorry, not once, which ain't surprising if you know her type. Mom, though, she takes it up a notch, texts Joe out of the blue, claiming it'd be a real sweet wedding gift for Sam to have her there, 'cause she's all about family values or some hogwash like that. Dad, being the generous guy he is, had bought Sam and his ex a house as a wedding present, put it in Sam's name only, thank the Lord, and yeah, she had keys to the place, but we weren't taking chances, so we swapped out those locks faster than you can say betrayal, and Joe rounded up a crew of our cousins to haul all Sam's stuff, clothes, TV, you name it, out of her apartment before she could blink twice. We're not too worried about getting sued, but we've got a lawyer's number handy just in case things get dicey. Word around town is Mom and her little gang are still hanging around, probably stirring up more trouble, but we don't give a rat's behind. We're all holed up at our old family house, the one we grew up in, just laying low. Dad's taking it hard, seeing Sam so busted up over this, he's heartbroken, no two ways about it, but he's pulling out all the stops to lift his spirits, cracking jokes, cooking up grub, and my girlfriend and Joe's wife are jumping in too, bringing some light to the gloom. I had to ditch my social media accounts, people were slinging hate my way left, right, and center, calling me every name under the sun, but the more folks hear the real story, why Sam ran like a bat out of hell, the quieter that noise gets, and it's starting to feel like maybe we're not the bad guys here. I'll admit, I feel a pang of guilt for her, getting left like that in front of everybody, all humiliated and red-faced, but Sam's my brother, my blood, and he comes first every damn time, no question about it. Joe filled me in later on what went down at the church after we peeled out. He said he climbed up where the preacher stands, faced the crowd, all those dressed up folks staring back, and laid it out plain. Sam ain't coming, y'all go on home now, and any gifts you send our way, we'll get 'em back to you quick as we can. She was out front when he stepped outside, losing her ever-loving mind, screaming her head off, tears streaming down her face, dialing Sam's number over and over like a broken record. Mom, never one to miss a chance to play the victim, tried roping Joe into a heart-to-heart, he wouldn't even glance her way, just kept his eyes forward, so she cranks up the drama, starts bawling loud enough to wake the dead, wailing about how we're the most rotten kids a mother could have, soaking up sympathy from whatever suckers would listen. It's her go-to move, straight out of her playbook, but Joe and his wife weren't buying it, they just kept walking, heads high. She catches Em outside the church doors, all wild-eyed, demanding to see Sam. Joe shuts her down cold, says, "Ain't happening, lady." She switches gears, asks what she's supposed to do with the big reception setup, all that food and fancy stuff. Joe, cool as ice, tells her if she's not using the venue, he'll make sure the food gets donated to the staff there so it doesn't go to waste sitting around. Everybody's yelling their fool heads off, her family, the guests, you name it, but Joe? He's steady as a rock, not giving Mom an inch 'cause he knows that's what she feeds on. They swing by the grocery store after, grab some chips and soda, hit up a burger joint for some greasy fries and patties, then roll back to the house, and we've been camped out here ever since, just like when we were kids running wild in this place, only now my girlfriend and Joe's wife are part of the crew. We checked in with Sam, asked if he wanted Em to hit the road, give him some space, but he shook his head, said, "Nah, I want Em here with us." Truth is, we'd all cleared our calendars for a big family hangout after the wedding anyway, figuring we'd be celebrating, so it's no skin off our backs to be here now, just under different circumstances. She shows up at the gate later, pounding away, but would already clocked she wasn't gonna use that reception spot, so Joe's wife gets on the horn, calls the venue with Sam's info, tells Em to take the food, slips Em a few bucks for their trouble. Classy move, if you ask me. Word is we're getting Dad's liquor stash back too, all that beer and whiskey he'd stocked up for the party, so looks like we'll be ringing in the new year 3 sheets to the wind, drowning our sorrows in style. Folks keep asking me how Dad ever ended up hitched to Mom in the first place, and I tell him straight, he was crazy about her, thought she was the kindest, sweetest woman he'd ever met, hook, line, and sinker. Turns out she was just putting on a show till she could lock down that loudmouth creep she's with now. Fooled Dad good till her mask slipped off. He nearly toughed it out for us kids, figuring he'd wait till we were grown, but she kept getting nastier, nice as pie one day, a raging harpy the next, and he couldn't take it no more. Sam's ex, though? She swallowed Mom's charm hook, line, and sinker too, thought she was some misunderstood saint and we were the rotten apples. Lame excuse for screwing Sam over, if you ask me. Sam didn't go blabbing the whole story to just anybody, only laid it out for his boss, who was there in the pews and couldn't believe the garbage Mom put us through, especially since we turned out halfway decent despite it all. Dad told us we can crash at the house as long as we need to lick our wounds. Sam's moving back in for a bit, bunking in his old room. I showed the family these posts I've been writing online, and they're flat out floored by how kind folks have been. Warms the heart, you know? Sam piped up, said his ex never waved any big warning flags, never acted shady. He really bought that she understood where he was coming from with all the mom baggage. He's agreed to sit down with her and her parents, but he's laying down the law. It's happening at our place, on our terms, and we're all gonna be there backing him up, so buckle up, cause that showdown's gonna be one for the books, and I can't wait to see how it plays out.